Easter at Santa Pod. 60,000 people have come here to see one man, Don Garlitz.
Okay, turn that fuel on to about 9.
Here, he prepares for a qualifying run. His first run on English soil for 12 years.
We're going down first.
You what?
We're going down first, so we can go right across to get back into this lane here,
Okay,
right?
okay, good.
You picked the right time for an interview, excuse me.
Running alongside him, also for a qualifying run, one of Europe's top racers, Clive Skilton. Both cars are push-started to fire up the engines, Skilton first. Garlitz waits for Skilton to fire up and then signals his crew to move forward. Back in the pits, Dennis Stone and Jerry Andrews talk about Big Daddy.
He's a pure drag race, that man.
Well, he's so good. I mean, if he had a look at this one and he'd give us one or two tips and you just do them. You don't question it, you just carry on and do them. You know, he's just that good. It's like drag racing law book.
Both cars put in their first qualifying runs. Skilton is quickest, much to Big Daddy's surprise and concern.
I left first.
Oh, sure.
Oh, okay.
There's no question about that.
Because that's a half a second difference in the time.
But he just went past you about...
well, it was in the middle.
200 feet, and he started to lean on you, and then about just over third distance, I would say, he came past.
Shot right out in front, and then it stops him.
Well, it's not actually his usual standard. He usually comes straight off the trailer and runs a 5. But over here, he's never been on this track before. And I think he's just feeling his way. He's got one more run to do.
Garlitz brings down his Swamp Rat dragster for his second mandatory qualifying run. The engine in his car can develop over 2,000 brake horsepower. To get this power to the ground involves expensive transmissions and techniques like the burnout. Ron Burrows, the mechanic, puts down water into which Garlitz will move the car. He then puts his foot hard on the loud pedal and spins the rear drag slicks until the surface tread rubber starts melting. His tyres and the tarmac will then be very sticky and promote excellent traction. Dennis Criddle, strip record holder, looks on.
I currently hold the track record at 6.04. And I don't think he's going to beat it.
So Garlitz edges his car into the timing beams, ready for his final qualifying pass. His engine looks decidedly unwell. He puts in the necessary second run, but qualifies with a 6.9-second blast in 5th position.
What the actual trouble is?
I have a good idea what the trouble is, but I don't have parts to fix it. I'm a long ways from my supplies.
He's been the tops for 27 years. That man he can run fast when he wants to run fast. He can run slowly when he wants to run slowly. In my opinion, he's just trying to put on a show. He's making everybody think they're very good.
No, I got in drag racing in about 1950, and of course drag racing in the United States was just getting started, and I had a little Ford Coupe that I used to race. Used to run about 19 seconds in the quarter, and of course I drove it on the street every day, and that's what appealed to me about drag racing, because you could in fact run the car that you drove back and forth to work. You could use it at the drags, which like a lot of the fellows right here do.
Clive Skilton puts in his second qualifier at 6.3 seconds and really looks good. Herridge and Crane put down hard 6-second passes too.
Well, I hate to make predictions, because in drag racing, you know, you never know till the last dog is drug off, as we say in the States. And anything can happen. I have to face the fastest qualifier, Peter Crane, who is a very formidable opponent. I'll have to do much better than I have done previously at this event. I've made 4 runs and have failed to break into any type of performance that my car is capable of. This car has run 6 seconds flat on many occasions, but we've been plagued with all types of difficulties that I've been just unable to straighten out.
But the moment of truth has arrived. Ron Picardo brings down his Firefly dragster in the first quarter-final. His crew frantically rush around to maneuver his car into the correct lane. His competitor Alan Herridge follows him down to the start with the Asphalt Alligator. Picardo does his burnout. Herridge burns out his slicks, momentarily screening the action from the spectators with thick tyre smoke. Picardo's pit crew direct him back into the sticky rubber tracks he made with his burnout. but he seems to be coming back a bit too fast. He's going to hit the water. And he has. The crew have completely wasted the burnout routine, and worse still, Ricardo does not know what's happened. Just look at those wet slicks. His car will be a real handful. The wet slicks have their effect, and Ricardo only just manages to keep control, whilst Herridge wins with 6.29 seconds at 200 hour. On to the second quarter-final. Owen Hayward brings the Hound Dog dragster round with a new engine installed overnight. This will be his first run with it. Here's his competitor Tony Froome, but he's not happy with his engine as he prepares for the burnout. Hayward's car sounds strong, but Froome's worst fears are realised. The stress of the burnout proves too much for his engine, and Hayward makes a solo run for a place in the semi-finals. He makes it in 6.76 seconds at 200 miles per hour. His chute starts slowing him down whilst Froome starts counting his losses. But the action continues with the third quarter-final, and Clive Stilton brings Revolution 3 down the far up road, followed by Hemi Hunter driven by Jerry Andrews. Stilton burns out in the near lane and they're ready for the race. Stilton wins a place in the semi-finals. Really time for Gar.
If I get by Peter Crane, I can win the event. Because I'll have obviously sorted out my problems and it'll be well on the way. Then it'll be minor tuning from there on. This is a major hurdle, this first round. And of course, being faced with the fastest car makes it extremely difficult. In other words, the pressure is on Big Daddy, so to speak.
The pressure is on indeed. The quickest qualifier, Peter Crane, against Big Daddy. The first European to actually race the King. The atmosphere is electric. The combination of those two good burnouts and the fact that the strip was sprayed earlier with a special traction compound should mean really quick runs from both cars. The adrenaline is really high in both competitors and spectators alike. Something special is about to happen and everyone can feel it. Garlett's in the right-hand lane and Crane near to us. The design of Garlett's car causes the foul light to come on, and Crane wins a great race, and it looks like a good time.
Everybody in that crowd listening, the winning elapsed time for Peter Crane, 5 points!
The first 5-second run outside North America with a 215 mile per hour terminal speed.
Crane was ready for the challenge, and he's done it. The first man in England, in Europe, to lay down a 5.97 seconds.
I thought if I do a 6.2 like I do yesterday, I'll be doing very well.
Legitimate 5.9.
To beat him, but to do that all at once.
That's the European right up. Come back down, you've done a 5.
But Garlett isn't very happy with his run.
I was standing there and I saw the red come on. The other guy got
was
a green.
still there.
I guess that 20 seconds must have run out. That's all I can think of.
Well, how could it run out if the one guy isn't even stationed? Oh, he run right up, turned both bulbs on.
Well, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
That's not a good thing.
You know, I was blinded by your car, so I couldn't really see you.
Yeah, well, it was strange because there wasn't any race anyway. It was out. I was out. I was just sitting there and I'm red.
Peter Crane, fantastic. What did it feel like?
Eventually, I think I'm dreaming.
It was really good. Were you loaded high up for that run?
No, we weren't. I was hoping just perhaps do a 6.2. Yeah.
That's what's called psyching out, folks. Now, you must have been really going there when you came out onto the line. You saw Garlett's there. What were your thoughts? Did you think back to some of the psyching that's been gone out there, or just you were going to concentrate for that run?
No, I thought the worst thing I could do is come second.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a trophy here put up by Santa Pod Raceway. Dave Watts is here from Santa Pod for the first 5-second run here in Europe. Fantastic. A great big cheer, Peter Crane.
While Crane celebrates, the racing continues with the first semi-final. Alan Herridge is pushed down the far-up road, but fails to start the engine. He seems to have selected the wrong gear in this new car and is not getting oil pressure, preventing him from firing up this engine. Meanwhile, Owen Hayward burns out and gets ready to race. Herridge's crew tried desperately to solve their problems, but it's no good. Hayward can go through to the final with another solo run. 6.71 seconds and 217 miles per hour. Will his luck hold? Herridge's didn't, and he's out of the competition. The second semi-final. Clive Skilton waves to the crowd as he comes down the far-up road. The car is really loaded with nitro for this run because he's racing Europe's 5-second man, Peter Crane, who seems unbeatable. The quickest qualifier and the man who beat Garlitz with a 5.97 second run. The main point in Skilton's favour is his experience. Burnout for Crane. A much shorter one for Skilton. He's been reading the start lights so well this weekend. This could be so important on this race. Both crews using every technique in the book for this one. Skilton in the right-hand lane and Crane in his favourite 5-second one. They're staging. But Crane has handling problems and Skilton goes through to the final in 6.37 seconds. 6.03. But oil has been dropped in the near side lane and this could affect the final.
Well, I'm going to hit it off the line on the orange, and if it turns red, it turns red, and if not, I might get out in front of him.
Clive Skilton comes down the far-up road, closely followed by Owen Hayward, who's drawn the oil-fouled lane. Has his luck left him? The crowd applaud the two finalists as they get ready for this climax of one of the best drag racing events seen in Europe. Both crews go through the familiar but necessary burnout routine. Burnout's completed, both cars stage. Skilton in the far lane. Skilton the winner with 6.37 seconds at 208 miles per hour. A great win.
We felt confident before we went into it, and then with the oil down on that lane by the funny car, which was really bad luck for Owen, we really felt that we had it in the bag.
Well, I didn't hit it quite early enough, but it was a good race. I enjoyed it. I really like a race like that where there's two cars side by side. I enjoyed it. It was a good day.
Altogether, an encouraging day for British drag racing, and I'd like to remind you that the pod is staging a meeting next weekend, and that the Easter winner, Clive Skilton, has a fixture at Blackbush in Hampshire.